So, do you think that Vin Diesel has a clause in all of his contracts that he has to wear wife-beater tank tops?
Yes.
I heard this. Are they playing this on repeat?
That's all he is.
Yeah,
They're showing off the meat. That shack meat.
Oh, God. It's just every movie I see him in, he's wearing one. But,
yes. It is a little trendy. Because here's the thing. We've seen this before.
Yeah, the whole movie, really. I mean...
There's a lot of callbacks.
Yeah. Well, first of all, we should probably tell you what we've seen.
Oh, shit, yeah.
And we just got a Bloodshot.
Yeah.
And this stars Vin Diesel, Isaac Gonzalez. It's directed by Dave Wilson. And
it's going to feel a little different, this whole review, because we just don't care.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a really...
This is a weird movie because I'm going to tell you right now. It was entertaining.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was entertaining in a
good way.
I mean, it's one of those movies. It's just... There were so many stupid decisions made here.
There was bad casting choices. There was some CGI effects that could be left out. There was plot lines that could be left out. There was the whole backstory could have been better. You didn't know the characters because they didn't care about you really knowing them. They just wanted you to know what they did.
It just starts off with him. He's in the military.
He's already in.
Apparently, he gets killed in the military.
Yep.
And he wakes up. He's all new now, nanotechnology, by RST technology, and he's ready to go out there and get revenge.
And that's the thing, that it, like you've seen in the trailer, kind of like they did with the new RoboCop, where they showed him getting blown up, and then all of a sudden he was RoboCop and figuring out the new body.
We've successfully managed to bring back, but improved, enhanced. With the technology in your veins, you have an army inside you. That will not only make you stronger, it will heal you instantly.
Holy shit.
Now tell me, do you remember anything?
That's this. It's just like that. It's like RoboCop.
Yeah, this is, you know that. You're right.
Way.
There is a lot of RoboCop here.
There is.
With the bad guy, the good guys.
Yes, and there's like the Mission Impossible moment where, you know, someone's getting killed and he's got to save her and blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's a lot of different movies being copied into this.
Oh, yeah. But you know what I felt more than anything?
Schlock.
Michael Bay. I mean, this to me, it just screamed at the editing, the lens flares, the shots. It even has the Michael Bay hot
It has
girl.
that military feel that's Michael Bay. Whenever Michael Bay does a Transformers or something, they always have this military feel to it.
Yeah.
Like they're Alpha Bravo, go left, and blah, 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 sit red.
It even has the little row of cars, product placement in here, just like a Michael Bay movie.
They did the 6-car convoy for the bad guys repeatedly. All the bad guys had minions. Did you notice that? All the bad guys the bad guys in this world, they all had their own personal little army.
Yeah.
And then later on you find out, this is a minor spoiler.
It throws you off for a loop. He just wakes up every day with somebody else to take out his revenge on.
Yes.
They're just placing memories in his mind.
And you see it through the trailer, so it's not even a spoiler, but it's the targets that are just so weird and lackluster. Like, not one of his hit targets was some... Oh, yeah, I know what you're thinking. There's a scene
we need to talk about the first villain, the coming out party, where he's dancing.
Yeah.
That is the worst villain introduction I've seen.
Well, it's like a train hitting a wall. We were on this train, and I won't lie, I was really digging the beginning.
The beginning's very good, yes.
You're in a combat, like you're with like a Delta Force or the Rangers or somebody, and he's breaching a house with a silenced weapon, and it just starts laying waste to these terrorists.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh my God, the fighting, the way they handled the gunfire and the cameras, it was like one of those Zero Dark 30s where it felt real. Yeah. And I'm like, holy crap, Larry, this is great.
Maybe this is good.
And then we get to the villain.
And we both do the same thing.
It just was like, beep, boom.
What did we do?
We looked right at each other because it became like this funny, it reminded me of like Suicide Squad suddenly.
Yeah, it was weird. He's like got some big coat on.
They're playing music.
And he's doing a little
dancing.
dance.
And I'm like, what the hell just happened? I thought, are we in the Matrix?
And you know what's funny is apparently they wrote that code. So somebody actually that worked there writes this code came up with this idea?
There's this whole tech thing where they got to constantly be showing it's like one of those movies with the Bourne Identity, where they have a control room where they're watching cameras and they're doing all this stuff. They do that through 20% of the movie.
Now, I will say at the beginning, because that little kind of twist somewhat, I was kind of thinking that this is what it is. They did throw me for a loop, and I was like, oh, really? I didn't see that coming.
And that's what's crazy. There are moments where you think, man, this could be going really good if it wasn't fixed.
I could see this for some people because it does remind me a little bit of one of my guilty pleasures, Elysium. For some people, this could be a guilty pleasure. Now, I didn't feel comic book movie.
No,
I felt this is very much like a video game.
It's a 90s video game action movie.
Yeah.
It reminds me of going back in the day when Arnold was doing those weird, like The Sixth Day, where it was a clone of himself. It reminds me of those movies. In fact, that's how it feels.
I want you to ask yourself something. Do you remember anything after being scanned by my bodyguard?
Which we should actually tell you right now. If you're a fan of the comic, I never read the comic. I don't know any of these characters or how they're actually truly supposed to be represented.
So this is just the movie.
I went and seen a movie. And
they had female leads. One of them had powers as well. Powers, augmentations.
Yeah, there was time.
They were pretty great.
She's got the thing. She's like a freaking mermaid.
She can breathe in any atmosphere or underwater, anything.
They have a mermaid in here?
Yeah.
If I was dead yesterday, I wouldn't be able to sleep either.
Nah, I had a nightmare. Which doesn't make any sense, because how can you have a nightmare if you have no memories?
Trust me. Soon you'll remember enough to wish you could forget it again.
I actually thought Isa Gonzalez was fairly good. She's really hot, which maybe helped to a degree, but
I thought had a character.
Yeah, she had a fair amount of charisma to her. I thought Vin Diesel really wasn't that bad.
He wasn't a character, though.
It's just the writing here and the story, the way it's worked.
It's easy to sum up Vin Diesel. He was just a vessel that was used for stuff the whole time, and he would make barking noises and he mumbled constantly.
Yeah,
and then when he would try to do funny lines,
the humor is
humor is really
there's
bad.
There's so many attempts at humor in here, and I didn't hear the audience laugh one time.
No,
I didn't laugh. I know there was one for sure where I would almost say, oh yeah, because I almost forgot. I was waiting where they say fart joke. No, it's a dick-sized joke.
Yeah, they did the dick joke.
They did a dick joke in here.
And but see, that would work if the movie was like an action comedy. Yeah. That's not how the first 20, 30 minutes of this movie was. The first 20 or 30 minutes was combat, military style, him getting jacked into this crazy world through nanites and all this stuff. And then his wife something happens, which we see in the thing. And all that occurs, and you're like, man, this is a lot. And then they switch it to, hey, let's make jokes for half the movie.
Yeah. I think they'd have just been better saying, and I guess in a way they were trying to say that what happened with her, it wasn't real, but
it was all part of the simulation.
Yeah. But it's part of the story because it comes back later.
Of course.
That they did kind of take something away from them.
Yeah, but here's the other problem. When we talk about characters, like Isa Gonzalez, she had a real character. She had a starting point. She had motivation. She didn't like the program, and she wanted to do something about it. That was her whole arc. Nobody else had an arc.
Yeah, Wiggins doesn't have an arc at all.
Guy Pearce, his character, he was the big doctor that ran the whole facility.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? He's the villain of this story, the main villain. And we haven't even brought him up yet because I'm almost forgetting about him.
He doesn't really do anything except for threaten.
He's the same villain.
Some of the characters.
He's the same villain in this as he was in Iron Man.
Yeah,
I mean, right. It's almost identical.
You're right.
Except he has something on his arm and he can control people.
And he can do that. Yeah, that's exactly right. I forgot all about that control. Because that's in this too. They have the ability to mess with him. I mean, you see that in the trailer. They can shut him down.
And the greatest human advancement of all time. He's He's unlike anything we've seen before. And he's entirely in our control.
Commencing memory fabrication.
And initiate sequence?
The combat, Vin Diesel's abilities, though, were great. Now, I'm not talking about the CGI abilities, like the nanites. They look god-awful sometimes.
I did think there were some good action scenes.
Yes.
Like the first one.
Yeah.
That all looked good. It actually looks better on the big screen than it did in the trailer. Because I was actually worried when I watched the trailer that some of the CGI was going to be bad, and some of it is really bad, and some of it's not undetectable.
It's to the point where they fixed it up. I think.
Yeah.
Like we were saying, there's the elevator scene is still rough.
They have somebody, I want to call him Elevator Man, because there's a scene in here where he's just going down the elevator shaft, holding on there, just
I think his name's Sam Hewen, but
some
the other parts are not as bad. Like him getting shot, you don't really see it that often. You see it in like these
dark scenes.
Everything's kind of dark in some of these scenes. Like there's this point where there's flour all over the place, and it creates this white red haze, like you're in a rave, and it's hard to see a lot of stuff. That's why I like the military part in the beginning.
There was sunlight. You could see
sunlight. You could see everything. You could see all the bad guys. You could see the shooting. Everything was great. Then they switched to the fighting and the elevator stuff to where it was so shaky and so much stuff going on that it made the combat kind of pointless.
And some of the editing in that elevator scene, especially right at the beginning when they're still in the hallway, there's this close-up shot of his face. And I'm like, it's almost like they recorded or did this 2 times.
Did a layer
and then
over
just kind of edited stuff together.
Yeah.
Because it just did not match.
Well, they probably did some overlays. Like they had the body, he was wearing that suit, and they did like the CGI effects on his whole body. That's how some of the action was, especially with Guy Pearce fighting him.
Yeah.
That was a lot of CGI.
Honestly, the whole soundtrack it's just whatever.
Yeah.
God, I didn't think bad, good. It's just there.
They tried to make you think that this movie was like depth, like them killing the wife was supposed to be this powerful moment. It copied off another movie that we seen and liked, and then like his battle against like the twists and all that. We were supposed to be like really into that, but we were already checked out. I think
it's a very generic movie. It runs its course. You're gonna know pretty much what happens.
Sadly,
you're gonna see it coming. Because I will say, at the same time when I was like, I didn't know that was gonna happen. In the back of my head, I'm going, Guy Pearce is gonna be the actual villain. You know,
and they didn't really have a huge amount of weaponry. It was just like handguns, rifles, things like that. And they used some grenades and stuff once in a while. It wasn't like big explosions or anything too often.
Yeah, and the first chase scene too, when the guy's running, that was another bad CGI moment.
Yeah, that was rough.
There's a lot of rough moments in the movie, but at the same time, I thought there were some good parts in the movie. You know, what would you score it?
Well, my breakdown's going to be this. 50-50 on the CGI. He's rough. I mean, he did this. It was his scenes in the Fast and Furious movies were way better than this. When he's Dom, I feel that he's Dom. This guy, when he would quip those jokes and one-liners and things like that once in a while, I was like, oh, it was so much cringe. It was like the cringe effect was hitting me. So yeah, that was bad. Guy Pearce was rough in this. He wasn't a good bad guy. A lot of miscasting. Sound was getting annoying after a while, and like you said, the music was forgettable. I would have to say this. Oh God, I don't want to give this a D. I didn't think it was that bad to warrant a D. Yeah, I do. It's a D plus. This movie's a D plus.
Yeah, for me, I thought some of the action was good. I thought Vin Diesel, I thought he was doable in the part. I thought the girl was doable. No. Okay.
This is a Christian channel.
We'll start that again. It was okay. Like I said at the beginning, I think for some people this will be a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
The action at times is good, and at times is bad. Like you said, CGI, 50-50. story, I'm just kind of same way, 50-50.
We've seen it all before.
For every good scene, there's a bad scene.
That's what's crazy. It feels like me and you have already seen this movie. Like, there's so much in it that's just recycled.
Yeah, just so many movies. I mean, there's Resident Evil.
Oh, my God.
There's everything.
It's just, what's crazy is me and you recognize the parts. Like, it would happen, and I'm like, oh, God, look.
Yeah.
It's like we knew when they were copying something.
Yeah.
And that's I don't know, that seems kind of cheap.
It's just very generic. I'm a little above where he's at, and I'm coming in with a C-. Because I do see myself, I could watch this again.
That was what I was going to ask you, because I can't.
But I would probably want to be drinking with some buddies.
Oof, there's no way. I'm done. After that, I'm on to the next one.
Oh, God. So, anyways, guys, I think that's about all we got for this one. Do us a favor, though, because some things may be changing soon, because what happened recently with... I mean, they're shutting down some of these movies.
I got notified today.
9.
I got notified today by email.
Well, not canceled, but next year now.
Right. Well, I got notified today by email that our theater, where we get our unlimited passes through, is thinking about suspending operations.
Ooh.
And so...
Yeah, they wouldn't give me a refill on my drink today.
We are going to basically just go until we can't, and then if we have to switch over to streaming, that's fine. We'll do that.
Exactly. We got a boatload of TV shows we've been watching.
Yes.
I mean, we can go back and do some of them. I mean, we did so many shows and didn't do reviews.
Yeah,
Terror.
a lot.
You know, what was the other one? Carnival Row. I still want to do The Outsider, The Witcher.
We are definitely
We've seen all of these. So, you know, keep coming back, checking it out, subscribe. But I think until next time, guys, that's about all we got. So do me a favor also.
Stay safe.
Wash your hands.
Yes.
Sanitize. And be safe.
Yep.
Take care.
I'm looking forward to it.
Get in, Kenny.
No chance.
Oh, man.